It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Living Daily, episode 703, Learning to Let Go and Letting Go of Control, both by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus of Minimalists.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator, reading to you every day just like an audiobook, but free of charge. And before we get to today's post, this episode is brought to you by 23andme.com. Now through Thanksgiving, 23andMe Ancestry Service Kits are only $49 when you buy 2 or more. That's 50% off the regular kit price of $99 this holiday. Make your family's Thanksgiving even more special this year with 23andme.com. Go to 23andme.com/old. For now, let's get right to our 2 posts for today and continue optimizing your life. Learning to Let Go by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus of Minimalists.com. Quote, "Everything I've ever let go of has claw marks on it." David Foster Wallace. A sunset is beautiful, but it lasts only so long. Once it's over, it's over. In time, perfection is tainted by life's beautiful blemishes, and every perfectionist dies 1,000 deaths. We often look at the things we enjoy, the relationships, the experiences, the possessions, and we want to hold on to them forever. We expect that these things will continue to add the same value to our lives day in and day out. But life does not work this way. Not everything that adds value today will add value tomorrow. This is particularly evident with our material possessions. Each time we purchase a sparkling new thingamabob, we bask in the light of its potential, excited by the initial value the new object brings to our lives. Over time, though, the value wanes, the glossy newness wears off, and our excitement abruptly dissipates. When the possession stops adding value, however, what do? Do we ask ourselves why? Do we donate it or sell it or question why we purchased it in the first place? Not usually. Often, once the dullness sets in, we let our effects gather dust or wither away in boxes in our basements, closets, and junk drawers, out of sight, out of mind. But then the only way to reclaim the missing value is to find another thingamajig that is shiny and exciting and new. This cycle is a dangerous downward spiral, a vortex of consumption in which we're constantly looking for that next nugget of excitement, that next burst of euphoria, that cocaine high that doesn't last but a few feet past the cash register. Thankfully, there are at least 2 ways to break this vicious cycle. First, we must question our new purchases. Of course, there's nothing inherently wrong with material possessions. What's wrong is the idea that material possessions will bring lasting joy and contentment. They won't. Instead, we must ask, will this thing add value to my life? And is this thing still adding value to my life? This kind of intentional living, when done consistently, will form lasting, empowering habits. Second, we must be willing to let go. We should let go of superfluous excess in our lives, starting with the dusty belongings inhabiting every nook and cranny and dark corner of our homes, eventually moving on to the more difficult things no longer adding value to our lives, sentimental items, unnecessarily large homes, the American dream, extra cars, shitty relationships. Ultimately, we must learn to let go. To do so, acceptance is the key. We needn't settle, but we all have a reality we must accept. As much as we might want to, we'll never be able to hold on to a sunset. Likewise, we can't retain everything and still lead meaningful lives. Life is fulfilling only when we allow ourselves to let go, when we allow ourselves to be in the moment, when we allow ourselves to feel the moment. After all, this moment is life's only true reality. Letting Go of Control by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus of Minimalists.com. It's easy to pretend we're in control of every aspect of our lives. Societal norms and tireless advertisements reinforce this message. You run the show. Life is what you make of it. Have it your way. You are the sovereign king of your own bite-sized kingdom. But much of what occurs around us day to day is utterly outside our jurisdiction. We don't know if that oncoming Ford pickup is going to veer left of center and collide head-on with our vehicle. We can't possibly predict that a maniac is going to rob the bank as we drop in during our lunch break to cash a paycheck. We can't anticipate the brutal storm that floods every basement in the neighborhood. No matter the amount of rigorous planning, the unexpected will occur. Last week, we announced Ryan's private mentoring sessions, and the first day response was astounding. Everything was progressing swimmingly. Ryan's mentoring calendar filled up for nearly 2 months, but then unexpectedly, our website crashed, our files were corrupted, and it would take a couple days to restore everything. In the meantime, no one could access our site, and thus no one else would know about Ryan's big announcement. Many thousands of people visit our site each day, so being out of commission for 2 days was far from ideal. Rome was burning, and we couldn't locate an extinguisher. The problem was simply outside our control. We never experienced a major website outage before, and we didn't know what to do. As far as we could see, we had 2 clear options. Number 1, panic, or number 2, let our friends at our hosting company work their magic. If we panicked, the site would still be down, but at least we'd be in control, right? Panicking, after all, is just a strange way to regain order in an otherwise disorderly situation. This type of control, however, does no good and is in fact harmful, unproductive, and detrimental to our mental health. However, if we relied on our hosting company to fix the problem, then we were letting go of control, placing our faith in someone else to do the right thing, which can feel like being stripped naked, exposed while waiting for someone to fetch us dry clothes. The simple fact is that we are not in control, not of everything at least. Instead, we control our odds, and if we place ourselves in the most ideal situations often enough, then odds are things will sway our way more often than not. Everything else requires a little leap of faith. Perhaps letting go of control is the best way to regain total control. You just listened to the posts titled Learning to Let Go and Letting Go of Control, both by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus of Minimalists.com. And this episode of Optimal Living Daily is brought to you by 23andme.com. 23andMe is a personal genetic service that helps you understand what your 23 pairs of chromosomes, your DNA, can tell you about you and your family. As your family gets together this Thanksgiving, discover more about the genetic connections you share with kits from 23andMe. It's simple. Each of your family members just sends in a small saliva sample and receives personalized online reports that you can share and compare with each other. Now through Thanksgiving, 23andMe Ancestry Service Kits are only $49 when you buy 2 or more. That's 50% off the regular price of $99. This year, make your family's Thanksgiving even more special with 23andme.com. Go to 23andme.com/OLD. Both Lee and I have done that before, actually. And I don't get to narrate the Minimalists as much as I like to because they don't write as much as they used to. They wrote a lot before. I actually narrated 3 of their audiobooks, and I played one of them almost in its entirety across these 700 episodes, so I'm running out of their content. I miss narrating them, but try to bring them back whenever I can. Of course, for more of them, you can check out their documentary on Netflix called Minimalism. I'm pretty sure that's worldwide now. All right, that will do it for today. Thank you for listening all the way through, and I'll see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.